Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Gibson, and I'm your host of Socialization of Abuse with Norm Therapy. Sorry, we were a little late coming on tonight, and last night we had to cancel our show. We had some technical difficulties. I'm traveling in the Middle East right now, so of course, um, I'm not always getting the best reception. Today, we have a wonderful addition to our team over at Abuse Refuge Org, who's going to be on our show tonight. He works in the graphic design area, well, really in the editing area. His name is Christopher Taylor Derwin. Really amazing person. I've been working with him. He says his name translates as the sacred cloth in Hebrew. So we're going to have some fun with that in this conversation as we move along. If I'm lagging or if I'm inaudible at any time, just, of course, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to adjust my internet settings, but that'll take up some time. Anyway, getting back to our show, I want to talk about norm therapy for a couple of seconds. Uh, we help people to find themselves in otherwise circumstances where they've lost themselves. Abuse is a very daunting circumstance. It goes to the depth of your soul. And oftentimes when you use the word depth, when you're dealing with anything in life, it normally means you're in a dark or deep place. Most people lie their way through their abuses. They put themselves in circumstances where they have to lie about their abuse. They have to lie about their people pleasing, the people who are narcissistic to them. They have to lie about a lot of things in order to exist. So we talk about that at Norm Therapy a lot, and we teach people how to extricate themselves from that kind of existence. We'll talk more about that. But now I want to talk a little bit about Christopher. He's going to be coming in. He has a very interesting background. I'm going to talk to him about it throughout the show. He's a member of the LGBTQ community, and he's one of these guys who, working with our organization, he does quality work. He has a good heart, and his mind is always in the right place. So without any further ado, I'm going to add him to the stage. And once I do that, I got a kind of a lag here, so I apologize to everyone out there in YouTube land and LinkedIn land where we're being broadcast. Hey, Taylor, how are you today?
I feel good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Thanks for being there. I really appreciate you coming on our show tonight. You have just been a wonderful person with whom to work. You have a great business and work ethic. We enjoy dealing with you at our organization. Mostly you deal with me in doing video editing and development of different projects alongside of myself and Kelly Dean, who is the global executive director of our nonprofit, which is Abuse Refuge Org. But tell me, what are you feeling right now when it comes to norm therapy and arrow and abuse care? How are you feeling about that?
I feel like it's a good direction for me. I feel like I've taken the initiative of norm therapy and arrow kind of to heart, and it's helped me navigate some rather troubled waters for certain people who are facing abuse. Some in my family, some who are friends, some people who belong to my community, belong to my church. And right now, I just feel in my life that it's good to volunteer and be available and of service to people. And that's what I've been doing for the last month, really dedicating myself to being as available as I can and showing up. And, people, once you show up and they see that you're present, they do all the work. They're the ones opening up. And it's been a real joy.
Well, tell me something. I see the name Link there. What does Link mean? Taylor Link. Talk about Link. What is that?
Well, I'm part of a subculture of the queer community called the Radical Fairies. And they
Mhm.
started in the 70s by a man named Harry Hay. If you read a book called Faggots and Their Friends, which was a banned book for a long time, it
Mhm.
will go a little bit more into the history of this community. Pretty much, it's a very spiritually driven, nature driven group of people that are all colors, all sexualities, all genders. And it's really a community that's grown tremendously to encompass so many different colors of the rainbow that we all belong to. Um, and I went there when I was young. I was invited to go through an experimental queer film festival that I was volunteering at, doing decor. And I just felt this call to go. And at the time, I was struggling with money and I was trying to establish myself in the film community. So I told my father that I was filming a cowboy movie, and that was the reason I needed to go down to Tennessee. And in Tennessee, there's a commune there where people live all the time, but a couple days out of the year, they host rather large gatherings. And everybody from around the country, some international, come and we celebrate together during Beltane, which is a pagan holiday that celebrates winter changing into spring. There's another holiday in this winter, in the around Halloween, called Samhain, and that's more like Halloween spirits, veil being thin. And during Beltane, we dance around a maypole, which kind of holds the intention and symbolizes what we're looking to put forth into the universe. And this year, I had the privilege of being able to call forth joy. And it was a very profound experience for me, mostly because at the Beltane ceremony, we talked a lot about how everything is Palestine right now and the people that are suffering there. We're living and mirrored through their experience. And the fairy community is a wonderful community full of a lot of broken hearts. And somehow we work together. And when I was younger, I started exploring my resourcefulness and wanting to decorate my body and decorate my room and my environment, as you can see. So I took the name, well, they call it a fairy name, Link. And Link does mean linking people together, being a link to things, but it's from a video game I grew up with that a lot of Americans believe very strongly in, called Legend of Zelda. And in Legend of Zelda, Link is on a quest, and it was perfect for the environment because in the woods there were a temple, there was different magical people who thought they were unicorns, dressed up, dancing around and being gay and expressing themselves, and finally being in a space. And I don't know if you've ever been in a space where everybody is like you, and if you're in a space of all trans people, that's a sacred space for those people. If you're in a space for all gay people, and that was the first time I'd ever been around men before like that. And then as the years went through and I continued to grow into my name, it took on many, many mythologies, and it's really been a powerhouse for me to call myself Link. It's a chosen name.
So you're living vicariously through yourself.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't really have a grasp. Listen, when I left the military, I didn't know really much about civilian life as a grown man because I joined very early on when I was a young man. And when I left the military, I actually, I wouldn't wear pleated pants because I thought it was gay to wear pleated pants. I was kind of not homophobic. I was never homophobic. I didn't understand the homosexual community. So that was that. And then when I started knowing that, it isn't about what you wear, it isn't about, how you look, it's about who you are. And I later found out that my brother was gay, and I didn't know, and he was 40 years old. And I didn't know until he was 40. He recently died not too long ago of complications in his stomach, but it was a real awakening call for me. So having you on this show, and for no other reason than posterity and of course, getting the message out to the community that I think the LGBTQ community is probably one of the most abused communities on the planet, next to the disabled community. I think the disabled community and the abuse care that goes on, or the lack of abuse care that goes on in the LGBT community, and that's one of the major reasons I wanted you on the show to talk about it, is to help us as a society familiarize ourselves with those kinds of abuses, but also kinds of the triumphs that your community has overcome in order to deal with those abuses. And that's where we are. I'm trying to get my notebook, so give me 1 second. Forgive me. and do apologize about that. But at the end of the day, I think knowledge and communication, and I think the name of your name, Link, networking is something people have to do in order to get to know the community, understand the community, and find out the plights of the community. You mentioned something else. You mentioned Palestine and the sides that people are taking. What did you mean by that? What were you saying when you mentioned that?
People who are facing genocide is a relatable thing, especially in the queer community. Being somebody who's been persecuted is something I can relate to, and being turned away for, wanting freedom, wanting the human right to exist in the world. Pride, it's gay pride right now in New York, but pride is a protest. It started as a protest. It started as Sylvia Rivera taking a brick, a beautiful trans woman who lived around the area, and throwing it into the glass and shattering and making a noise around the world that, we don't stand for that. And I have a hard time accepting my Jewish roots because, they tie back to Israel. And I just, my heart is just so heavy with what's going on against these people that are just fighting to have a sliver of land and be close to the homeland that they were also promised. So with why is everything Palestine? I'm honestly learning that myself. That was a message that they were promoting, that we're fighting the good fight, but we're all fighting the same fight, and that fight is to be free. I think you froze.
I'm having it. I'm in the Middle East, right? I'm in the Middle East right now, so I'm getting choppy internet service. I do apologize to everyone who's listening. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Have you ever been to Palestine? Have you ever been to Israel?
No, but I would love to go.
I've been there.
I want to learn about why these people act the way that they act, and why they think they're this ultimate authority in the world and can get away with this. Like, I want to know who these people are.
There's a couple of things I think that in the media, I think there's such fervor for what's going on there that people just go with the mob or the crowd or the group mentality, or in this particular case, the organization's mentality. But I've been there, and I've seen both sides of the equation. But the thing I don't understand about I think I saw it on the television the other day, Queers for Palestine. I think it was called, or something like that. And I remember thinking that every place I've been in, not every place, but in most places I've been, queers are not treated very well in this part of the world. As a matter of fact, oftentimes in places like Iraq or Afghanistan, quite a few other places, queers are put to death for being queer. I mean, what was the movement about? To create a link between the queer community and Palestine, or support of people in genocide, or what is the movement about? Because I'm trying to reconcile it, because I know the treatment of the homosexual community in a lot of places in the Middle East, and I'm here in the Middle East right now. I know that it's not as favorable as a lot of people would think it should or could be. So what do you think about that?
Why do queer people take such a why did queer people take such a role in the protests for Palestine?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're strong. We're a strong community. We can band together to vote, to make change. We can organize ourselves to be at the White House. We are a network unlike any other network in America. We are very connected. We are like essentially grassroots. It's like we're all on Signal. We're all on all these encrypted things. We're the we're the quickest to be the first responders. We're the quickest to get the people together. We're the quickest probably to arm ourselves against an oppressor. Like, we are a very, very well organized and oiled machine, and we have leaders among us, and everybody knows how to play their part, whether it's bringing food or, holding hands and linking and stopping traffic. Like,
Mhm.
we are here to dismantle the patriarchy. That is the goal of the queer community. If you're queer, if you're of the queer consciousness, like, you are here to break this system down, and then to stand upon it and create a new party, a new system, a way of bringing and uniting, hopefully, this world together under one banner. I would like to see that. But we are here, we are angels in America. We're here to make a change, and we'll do whatever it takes.
Do you feel that you've made a lot of progress over the years? What are some of the major accomplishments made by that community over the past, let's say, 5 years? What can you tell me has been of great service to the community?
I think it's just kind of about keeping your head above water. And we got the right to marry, which is a human right, and we got the right, and we're working on the right to make sure that trans people have health care. But, like, the Republicans just want to rip everything away from us, and they want to rip the environment away from us. And our accomplishments are this, that we just keep organizing. I mean, it started, if you think about Harvey Milk, who was a politician in San Francisco during, the hippie times. He took years and years and years to build credibility so he could run for a very small office. And that's a great movie by, I'm trying to think who directed that film, but it's called Milk. And it's like, gay people have always been criticized for having expendable income and being wasteful and just wanting to get drunk. I mean, and during Pride, it's like you have all the people putting their names on vodka, being like, it's gay, it's vodka, because, like, we never had a chance to have a family. We never had a chance to get a job. I mean, if you watch the film documentary Paris is Burning about the 1980s and the Black community in Harlem putting on balls to walk down different categories because they have been unable to make it in life and be successful, that they have to parade in a suit down a runway, and it's called executive realness. It's like people are just fighting for the right to take their part of the pie in America and fulfill the American dream.
Well, I oftentimes tell people, in order to enjoy the American dream, you got to be asleep because it's a dream. You have to work hard at achieving the American dream. I know. I always make that pun when I get an opportunity. The bottom line is the community in which you advocate and you're a staunch proponent and supporter. I think it's one of the most controversial communities on the planet. People don't like what they don't understand, and some people with open arms embrace things that they don't understand. What are you finding to be the most prevalent approach that people are taking when it comes to your community these days?
I think it's really important for parents who have children in school to start looking at this community and asking themselves, if my child is gay, who can their mentors be? It's like, if my child is struggling with their gender and sexuality, what support systems do they have in the school or available to them outside of the school that aren't run by the church? Can you just ask me the question one more time?
No, I was just wondering, what were the major accomplishments made, and how do people embrace your community? Do they embrace it from a perspective of, we don't know anything about you, so we hate you, or we love you and we don't understand, but we embrace you anyway? Which are you receiving more of?
We are not here to be tolerated. We are not here for people to keep us at a distance because they're uncomfortable. A drag queen reading poetry to children is not a crime. Drag queens and gay people aren't trying to molest you like they are.
Some
Like,
people are saying that it is a crime, and that's what I'm trying to get at. The perceptions of people. You're right. You should never. No one should ever want to be tolerated by anyone, but acceptance is something everyone looks for in any setting in which they're involved.
well, I guess you just have to learn how to accept yourself first. It's still breaking up. Kind of sounds like a piano dying.
To copy the.
You're back. You were
You hear me?
like 15 minutes. I don't know where you went.
I apologize. I'm in the Middle East right now, traveling, and this is the signal I'm getting. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my phone from my desktop. I mean, from my laptop. So go ahead and copy the stream from here. From
I don't get it.